Howdy folks, I am Ruzkiel, and welcome back to Let's Play Danganronpa 2, Goodbye Despair. In the last episode, I prepared myself for the trial, I say I prepared myself more like I reviewed the evidence, because I'm not ready for this. I'm not ready for this, but we gotta do it anyway. So here we go. I do think I have a couple of the important things figured out, which is regarding the poison, which kind of regards the poison, and a little bit about the torture aspect of it. I feel like I know it, but I guess we'll see if I actually do or not.
Now then, let's begin with a simple explanation of the class trial. During the class trial, you will present your arguments for who the killer is and vote for who done it.
I like how Nagito's is like really messy. I wonder what that's kind of symbolic of. Whether he's a messy personality, or... Oh, that's a weird X out on Gundam. I wonder what that's supposed to be. Sorry, I'm getting distracted. So we got through that.
If you vote correctly, then only the blackened will receive punishment. But if you pick the wrong person, I will punish everyone besides the blackened. And that person will earn the right to leave this island.
You're not tied up today. Interesting.
Oh my! Monami, my cute little sister. You're awfully quiet. What's happened to you? You've ascended the ladder of adulthood and reached the moon. Because you're a rabbit.
What's going on? This is...
Justo!
Oh, we've seen that before. She's not going to respond, is she? She's just going to take it. What the hell is going on? This is weird.
One more time! Jeez! How about this one? This will be my final blow!
What's going on? Something really got into Monami, and I'm not sure what it is.
It's useless.
Please stop. I feel bad for Monami.
You're right! Now's not the time for me to horse around with Monami. The class trial has started, after all. The victim this time is Nagito, who was attempting to reveal the traitor for everyone's sake. Who in the world killed him? I'm so curious.
If he was killed for trying to reveal traitor, then traitor is obviously killer. They were trying to shut Nagito up.
Nah, that might not be it.
Huh? You're trying to protect traitor. They didn't call out when we were in danger. At the same time, he's also the one who's been most suspicious of everyone being the traitor. Wait, don't tell me you're the traitor!
Ah, don't say something so stupid. There's no way in hell I'm the traitor. Ooh, now that's more like it. Why don't you guys go ahead and stop arguing already?
The traitor and the killer who murdered Nagito is here, right? Are they the same person? Or... Well, if we have evidence of torture... Okay, so... If we have evidence of torture, we got the torture wounds, the survival knife, the duct tape, the plushie, the panels, and the oil lighter. Torture wounds definitely seem like the best piece of evidence to argue against the traitor being the same as the killer. The killer didn't tape Nagito's mouth to shut him up. I'm telling you, they were torturing him. The reason Nagito's body was covered with wounds, it's because the killer tortured Nagito. Okay, so that's why he was so beat up. What were they trying to find out by torturing him? They were definitely the bomb's hiding place. If so, the suspect is whoever found the bomb first. That was Fuyuhiko. Found it by coincidence. There's no way I'd torture someone. Okay, so this isn't going where I was expecting. So why did the killer have to torture Nagito? No. Were the wounds on Nagito's body really caused by torture in the first place? That's an interesting line of questioning. Well, this did not start how I was expecting. So we got the torture Nagito, we got the bomb hiding place, and we have who found the bomb first and the coincidence. The bomb hiding place and the coincidence are agreement statements, but I don't... I don't know if we can... I don't know if we can say that, though. Survival knife. Duct tape. Duct tape was before he was... Okay, so the duct tape was before he was tortured. Maybe that has something to do with it. Monoguma plushie. I don't know how that ties into anything. I want to go back to that first statement. Why did the killer torture Nagito? Were the wounds on Nagito's body really caused by torture in the first place? I don't really have much of anything to dispute that it would have been something other than torture at this case. Okay, so the killer didn't tape Nagito's mouth to shut him up. I'm telling you, they were torturing him. The reason he was covered with wounds is because the killer tortured Nagito. Maybe the line of thinking there is... Well, it contradicts the first... It would... If I shot that the killer tortured Nagito with the duct tape, then that would indicate that the duct tape was placed before he was tortured, but he himself says that the killer didn't duct tape him up. I feel like it's a bit of a stretch, but it's kind of the best answer I have at this point. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. So it was statement 2 or 3. Wow, I burned through a lot of time trying to figure this out. Come on. Alright, hey, that actually worked out. So, I apologize for the lengthy thinking that I had to do on that one. It wasn't a line of argument that I was expecting, to be honest. Okay, so Nagito's mouth was covered with duct tape, so he wouldn't have been able to confess anything. Oh, well, this was one of the things that I talked about. I exclusively remember talking about this. I was probably expecting it to be a little more... a more focused discussion on the fact that they tortured him for information, and then we would use the duct tape to say, no, that wasn't the case. This felt a little more like... it almost seemed like the way Hajime's thought process was, it almost seemed like it was trying to figure out whether he was actually tortured, whether he was tortured. Okay, sorry. If he was being tortured for information, they wouldn't have taped his mouth like that. Oh, well, we're getting right into the rebuttal. He's coming out swinging, that's for sure. Well, he did this in case 4, too, didn't he? He came out swinging, thinking he had the answers.
Ah, I just realized it. It's a trap.
A trap?
Stupid Hajime, you got caught in that trap.
Stupid? You're one to talk, bro. Oh god, what's our... The torture wounds, the burned rope, the survival knife, the duct tape, the spear, and the plushie. Burned rope or survival knife. Maybe torture wounds? I don't know, there's a lot that it could be. Like you said, Nagito's mouth was taped shut. Okay, well, I sort of not screwed it up too bad, but I have no idea what was being said. Sorry about that. Okay, but if you tape his mouth shut, how's he supposed to answer anything? So what do we got here? We've got, pay attention, the killer tortured Nagito and got information about the bomb's location. After they killed him, they duct tape his mouth shut. No, because we have the duct tape was on beforehand. Okay, yeah. So using the duct tape on that third statement should work. After getting that sounds reasonable, but clearly contradicts the truth. If he had listened to me until the very end, I wouldn't have to go to the trouble of repeating myself. Okay, so we wait for this one, and we wait for the next one about the bomb's location after they killed him, and then we use They didn't. Wait, what? That wasn't it. But it's the duct tape that said that there was no blood spatter underneath the tape. Torture wounds, maybe? I don't know. No. I know what we're trying to say. There was no blood underneath the tape. Which means that it wasn't taped after he was killed. Okay, so the burned rope, the survival knife, that... After... Oh, yeah... Am I doing the wrong statement? I feel like I am. Okay, so if it... Maybe I am doing the wrong statement. Shoot. Okay. We'll try the duct tape on... I'm thinking statement 2. Maybe that's what it is. Because it wasn't about the bomb's location. Not... Okay, after they killed him. I knew the argument. Wrong statement. Darn it. Sorry about that. Apparently I'm just gonna be apologizing this entire episode. No, there's no doubt Nagito's mouth was covered with duct tape before he was beat up.
What did you say?
Who cares about the duct tape? We might as well settle this with rock, paper, scissors. We don't need to play a game. It's clear the duct tape was on his mouth before the torture even began.
Oh man, you know she's serious when she's not wanting to play a game. Why do you always side with Hajime? Do you have a crush on him or something?
Are you in elementary school or something? You were with us when I peeled the duct tape off Nagito's mouth, right? The blood on Nagito's face wasn't under the duct tape, remember? The blood on his face came from his arm wounds, which means the duct tape was on his face before his arms were even wounded. One thing I really don't understand is what's going on with his right hand. I have no idea how any of that happened. And the duct tape had a lot of crinkles around his mouth. He must have been struggling to open his mouth under the duct tape. Oh, that's a good point. That wouldn't have happened after he was killed. I remembered half of the piece of evidence, but not the other half. If I had remembered the other half, I might have slashed the right statement in the first place. Maybe. Perhaps duct tape was used so he wouldn't be able to scream. Then it's like I said in the beginning. The tape wasn't for torture. It was to keep his mouth shut. However, if they wanted to seal his mouth, they did not need to hurt him with such ferocity. They probably had deep grudge against Nagito. Well, that's not out of the realm. He was kind of a crazy bastard and a-hole to everyone. Then, are you saying the killer was trying to make him suffer? If so, that's friggin' crazy. Did they go psycho or something? No, they didn't just go crazy. Whoever did this must be one crafty bastard. If not, they wouldn't have taken time to set fire to crime scene and destroy all evidence. The warehouse fire was for destroying evidence?
We can't think of any other reason.
But who could have done that? When the fire occurred, everyone in this room was gathered in front of the warehouse. Yeah, and right after I opened the warehouse door, the flames started burning from the very back. Which means, it is plausible to think that nobody here set the fire.
The killer isn't one of us, but that's not the case, huh? I mean, it's wishful thinking.
Even if it was only a coincidence, timing was just too perfect. Based on the pattern up until now, we should suspect that some kind of setup was used for this. Some kind of setup? Like what? I do not know that, but that has been the pattern before.
That's our Miss Sonia. You have such an amazing high intellect. Alrighty then. Let's think about this based on what Miss Sonia thinks. Is that okay, Miss Sonia?
And you were getting on me about Chiaki always agreeing with me. Damn right it is. The reason for the fire, huh? They're right. We need to clear this up first. So this is where the panels and the oil lantern come into play, but we'll take a look at what we have for... Well, we got the panels and the oil lantern. I'm going to stick with the panels for now, but we'll see what the actual discussion is about. So the direct cause of the fire was the oil lantern found at the crime scene, right? I agree with that. The killer used some kind of setup and lit the curtain on with the fire. With the lighter. Some kind of setup. They used the oil as an improvised fuse? They probably just threw the lighter. Nope. Nope. Based on the shape of that lighter, it can stand upright while the flame is lit. If they tipped over the lighter in some way, it could have ignited the curtain some way? Maybe they used an invisible thread. No. Tip it over with sound waves. Nope. Use it, or perhaps opening the door with the Monokuma panels. That's what we needed. That was a pretty long discussion, but at least I don't need to go through it a second time. I wonder what all that white noise was. That was interesting with the clatter, clatter, clatter. Gosh, I may have to go back and try to take a look at that in post. I also agree that opening the door is what started the fire. Just as I thought, it was the wind pressure. A dust devil blown from here from glorious Japan. No, not wind pressure. They probably used the Monokuma panels. A huge number of tipped-over Monokuma panels were found at the crime scene, right? It looked like they were scattered everywhere, but some were lying on top of each other in a single line. Just a single line leading from the warehouse door to the fire's origin. Does that mean anything? Well, it probably means that, based on what I'm seeing, we're at the end of the episode. In the next one, we'll wrap up this little discussion about the origin of the fire, and really maybe we'll get to talking about the murder weapon, or the murder method at some point, but I don't feel like that's next. There's something else that we're probably going to talk about, and I'm worried that it's going to be the unburnt right arm of Nagito. I want to thank you guys for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Farewell.